Baron Hilton has over $2 billion to give away. Uncle Sam is not getting it. Even his granddaughters, Paris and Nikki, are not getting it. The 80-year-old family patriarch is giving almost all of it to the Hilton Foundation, one of the largest philanthropic organizations in America. What does that say about what he thinks about his own family and his country's government? I'm joined, of course, by our panel, Jonathan Honig, John Layfield, Tracy Burns, and Peter Schiff. Jonathan, what do you read into this?
Well, I think bravo for Baron. I mean, his family worked hard to create this wealth, and frankly, Stuart, I'd have rather seen Paris and Nikki get it than the federal government. I think they probably could have been more productive with it than the federal government. But certainly the fact that it's going to the foundation, which will do great charitable works, that's the best answer of all, and certainly it's better that the foundation have it than Uncle Sam.
Tracy,
so bravo, Baron.
Tracy, do you think he should have given it to the government when he dies? I mean, just give it in estate taxes?
No, absolutely not. This family worked really hard for this money. I applaud him for not giving it to his granddaughters, quite frankly, because they have gotten in enough trouble with the money they already have. And truthfully, they're claiming that they're making their own now, so let them. I think he's done the right thing with this money.
Well, he didn't have to pay estate taxes. I mean, at that level, billionaires is voluntary.
Yes, but the way he's doing it now, truthfully, he's wiping his tax bill out altogether, quite frankly. And the money will be spent in much, much better ways than Paris and Nikki prancing around town with it.
John Lee, will you stand up for a large inheritance for Paris or Nikki?
I can just imagine how many sex tapes Paris would come out with that type of money. I think it'd be amazing. Look, I don't blame him. I wouldn't give it to Paris. I wouldn't give it to the government. Tracy and Jonathan are dead on. This money was taxed 2 or 3 times by the time he ends up being put in the ground. Why give it to this inept government to study cow flatulence, how it affects global warming? He is right. He made this money. He earned it. Make sure it goes to where you want. I just don't like the hypocrisy of billionaires who don't pay it anyway, arguing for the estate tax.
Oh, I'm with you all the way, John. But let me ask Peter Schiff. If the economy is crashing, America is bankrupt, I presume you think that Mr. Hilton should have given this money to the government to bail out the government. Am I right?
No, under no circumstances should the money go to the government. I mean, you know, it's much better if it's going to go to charity that it be a private charity. But, you know, the larger issue, it's unfortunate that so much of these fortunes are being given away, even if they go to worthy causes in the short run, because in the long run, society would be much better served if these fortunes were left intact and productively invested in capital investment, in starting new businesses that would provide low-cost consumer goods and employment for people for generations to come, not simply, you know, some money right now.
The heart of this issue is death taxes, the estate taxes. Should we keep the estate taxes?
It should be abolished.
Anybody on this panel who supports death taxes? Anybody?
Well, you know,
Stuart, any takers?
Stuart, it's huge amounts of money like these and mega billionaires like these, exactly who politicians like Hillary Clinton feel as if have an obligation to give their fortunes back to public at large. I mean, it's fortunes like these that specifically these politicians are arguing should give their money back to the government. So,
yes, but it's these billionaires who insist that we should keep estate taxes and that the money should go to the government. It's the Warren Buffetts of this world. Tracy?
But the thing is, the reason, with the estate tax intact, charitable donations will be made. Once the estate tax goes, there'll be no incentive to give to charity anymore. So that could be part of the reason why these wealthy people want this estate tax around, so that they can continue their charitable giving.
There was charitable giving before the estate taxes came around.
It would be sliced in half, and the numbers are there to prove it, that if the estate tax goes, there's no incentive to give to charity.
And as Bradshaw said, you're going to see billions of dollars poured into ethanol and farm subsidies and libraries and all this other nonsense instead of actually going to a productive purpose.
May I suggest, for one brief and shining moment, that the money should have gone to Paris and Nikki. They seem to be quite... No, I'm serious here. After all, they are family members. I don't necessarily they deserve it, but they are productive in their lines of business, shall we say. What's wrong with them getting the money?
Well, I don't know. I'm sure they just would have consumed it. What increases society's wealth is not when billionaires consume their wealth, but when they make it available to the rest of the world through investments in productive assets.
John Layfield, what's your point of view?
I think we're missing the point here. Look, Mr. Hilton made this money. He should be allowed to spend it however he wants. The hypocrisy I don't like is these guys pay capital gain rates. They say we should raise the tax rate. They don't pay death tax. They say we should keep it intact. But the fact of the matter is, Mr. Hilton made this money. He should be able to give it to Paris. He should be able to give it to whoever he wants to. It is his right in this free world to make this money and give it wherever he wants.
Well, no one disagrees with that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached consensus. Paris should not get it. The government shouldn't get it. The gentleman should do what he likes. We're in agreement. That's pretty good.
Yep.